Okay, so this is the second part of the I Surrender All lesson. So a quick recap. The key of C. I usually start with the second inversion as opposed to the root. Root, first, second inversion, because the top note is the beginning of the song. So if I had to follow the melody of the song as I'm playing the right hand, okay, this is what it would sound like. Okay, so oh, right, as I had explained before, we're playing C, D minor, it could be D minor 7, C, could be just G major triangle or 7, okay, right, or G, E7, okay, which would be in this case the first inversion. With position would be E, G sharp, B, D. First inversion, G sharp, B, D, E, and playing of course E with the bass. Going into A minor. D minor, C over E, in other words the root position, or should I say C over the third, right? So here, usually when you play the bass, you play the root position most of the time. But sometimes for harmonic purpose, in order to have a different effect, you may play the third or the fifth of the chord, right? For instance, for every triad, in other words, a chord with 3 notes and beyond, you could play at least the root, the third, and the fifth in the bass part. So for instance, in the key of C, you could play the C, which is the root, or the third, or the fifth, because these are all included in the chord. But of course, each one of these root notes will give you a different effect. Okay, so let's say C, D, D minor 7 in this case, C major, or G7, okay, E7, in this case first inversions, A minor 7, right? So D minor 7, C over E, right? In this case, that would be either a D minor 7 or F 6, F major 6. So the F major and the note after the fifth, that's the 6, which happens to be the same as D minor 7 as well. A F, I mean D F A C, F6 6 is F, A, C, D. So the same notes. Okay. So D minor, E, F major 6, and then usually I play the F diminished with major 7 if you want it to sound fancy, or less fancy, just a diminish over 5, the 4 diminish over 5. In other words, the F in the key, since we're in the key of C, the 4th would be F diminished, and then the 5th. But when you add the 7, it sounds better. The diminish with the major 7. Okay? Alright. So let's say the second part of the song. So here I'm playing the 1, a first inversion of the C major. Okay, G, second inversion. That would be F major, and that would be C major 7, and that would be D minor. So instead of doing I usually play a transition chord, knowing I'm going from C ta 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 D minor. So the transition chord would be that I usually play is the C sharp diminish, C major, C sharp diminish into D minor, right? So C sharp D minor diminish, D minor, right? Okay. Now I also find that when you're playing da di da, and then when you do the diminish, so you have those two notes that may clash. It doesn't necessarily clash, but I mean it still works. But if you wanted, you could also play so, and then now you're playing that note. So now which really ends up being A7, as opposed to the diminish. Okay. Anyway, you could play it interchangeably, just to add different flavors so that you're not playing the same chord each time. Of course, play different inversions. Okay, so so C major to C sharp diminished, da da D minor 7, G7, so G7, G, F, okay, E, or should I say C major 7, right? D minor, C major, okay, so or C sharp diminished, 2 minor, G, I like to do, so as I'm playing G, F, this could be called either C major 7, or it could be called E minor, because they share the same notes, right? Because you have E minor is E, G, B, C major 7 is C, E, G, B, so again they share the same note except for the C, right? So you could say G, F, E minor, D minor, C, so and usually with the left hand, as I'm coming down the scales with these chords, G, F, E, with the left hand I go G, A, B, G, A, So G, G, A, B, G, right hand, G, F, E minor, D minor, C major, right? So C, F major, C major, A minor, G major, F major, C major, F. This time I'm playing the C but with the fifth in the root. So now I'm playing the G while I'm playing the second version of C. Okay, and then you could play the F diminished over C, and then C. So A minor, G, C, F, C over G, F diminished over G, and then you end with the C major, right? So, ya ya da da da, be ba ba ba, be da ba ba, okay. All right. So this is the second part of the I Surrender All lesson, and of course, once you're comfortable with the key of C, you try to play the same song in all keys. The key to being comfortable at the instrument is to be able to play the same song on all 12 keys, and that's what will give you confidence and mastery over the instrument.